Hi guys, welcome back. 2021, we're in a new year, so happy new year to everybody who is still tuning and watching this video. So last year, in fact about a month or two ago, we put a request up asking for people who wanted to get their character designs into my game, and this video is finally going to be the video where we can reveal the collaboration cards for Wrath of Cause, and all these cards are going to be shown off in set 4, or should I say they will be found in set 4 in booster packs and the likes. So before we get into the actual card reveal themselves, this set, there's 13 cards, 13 designs, 13 different collaborators who wanted to have their characters in my game, and they range from some of the most popular TCG game creators on YouTube, as well as some guys you may or may have not heard of in it before. So, you know, if you do encounter somebody you've never met before, by all means go ahead over to them and subscribe. So yeah, we've got 13 cards. 7 of these cards are uncommons, 5 of them are rares, and then 1 is a royalty rare card. And as a little side note as well, a lot of after the last major tournament, what we had a few months ago, I have decided to tone down some of the cards on to do with the with the playability of the cards. So you will see a lot of cards now will be easier to play and easier to manage. So that's going to be something quite something to look forward to in set 4. So there's going to be a lot more cards at your disposal which can be played early game, hoping to make some more unique gameplay for the game. Right, so I'm going to be throwing the designs up on screen as I'm going through. So the first card we have got is Erica, the First Jubilee. So she comes from Ellumacent Souls. She's one of the first cards designed. One of the first cards designed in this collaboration method. She costs 2 blue, and then when she enters play, you get to return an enemy unit back to their owner's hand. So there's a bit of like a bounce effect for the cost of just 2 blue. So already she's well worth being a rare card. She has 300 attack, 300 HP, only misses on a 1, hits on a 2 through 5, and then if she hits on a 6, you get to draw a card as well. So she's got a bounce and a draw mechanic within her card herself. So next card, we have got one from Battle Quest TCG. He's shown up quite a lot in the HTCG community recently, and she's called Sasha the Murder Fairy. So she's a little bit more, 1 element extra to cost, but she's obviously got some slightly better abilities than Erica. So she costs 1 blue, 1 black, and then 1 element which costs either a blue or a black. She's got 400 attack power, 300 health. She does have the ambush ability, which means you can play her during the battle phase, so you can spring her up on your opponent's whenever your opponent decides to choose attackers or defenders. And then when she does enter play, her ability reads, if this unit was ambushed into play, your opponent discards a card from their hand. So she does have a nice little discard mechanic there, just for the sake of being ambushed into play. This obviously can help if your opponent just happens to be ready to play a battle card. This could encourage this could break some plans apart if played correctly at the right time. So she misses on a 1, hits on a 2 through 4, and then a 5 or a 6 she hits, and then you get to look at your opponent's hand. Now, that last ability obviously happens on a 5 and a 6, which means it's a 1 in 3 chance of actually getting to look at your opponent's hand, so that's going to happen more often than what Erica's 6 roll was, so that's going to be happening quite a lot, and pretty easy to play as well. So yeah, that's Sasha. Next one is, if it wants to work, Morgana, Tactical Captain. So this one is from Aether Games, also known as Astronomica TCG. She costs 2 blue and 2 white. She's obviously human. She's got 500 attack power, 400 HP, and then whenever she defends, or whenever you choose her as a defender, you get to roll a die. If it's odd, your units gain 200 HP. If it's evens, they gain 200 attack power instead. Misses on a 1, misses on a 2, however she has the ability to draw a card. Regular hit on a 3 to a 5, and on a 6 this unit gains 100 attack power this battle. For 4 elements she can very easily become 600 attack power. If she's a defender, she has a 50% chance of upping that to 800 attack power, judging that she rolls a even. So a very, very powerful unit, obviously if the dice rolls in her favour, but failing that, even if she misses on a 2, she gets to draw a card. So as you probably already know, card draw in this game is a must. So a very powerful unit. A couple more elements extra to play, but you know, she does have that defensive structure behind her, which is always good. Next up we've got Taharos, I nearly said Thanos. Taharos, the Dragon Slayer, and he comes from SkyScape TCG. Now he is quite heavy to play, but he's actually quite easy in terms of elements, so he only costs 2 black and 3 green, so it's aimed at being a late game card. He's a demon, 700 attack power, 500 HP, misses on a 1 to a 2, so that's the only downside about it, a 1 in 3 chance of missing, a 1 in 3 chance of just hitting as normal, and then a 1 in 3 chance of hitting and your opponent discards a card. So obviously, usually whenever you get something with a 6 roll, if it happens on a 6 and a 5, that will happen twice as often as, well it should. There's 2 times as much of a chance of that happening as anything else. So just trying to get that discard on your opponent is good enough for the card. And then in its ability box, you can pay 3 red to destroy any dragon unit currently in play, or deal 500 damage to any human unit currently in play. So obviously this character obviously comes from the SkyScape universe, and if you look at his lore, he says, "So this is Earth, it's cute, but I've come for the prince's father." Now if you know anything about set 4 already, you may notice that the prince's father is not Regius, so I will leave that at that. But he comes from a different universe, and he doesn't like dragons, and he really doesn't like humans as well. So that's him. Next up is Timeless Knight. Now this is from Colin from Cards of Creation, also known as War for Exultia. He costs 3 black and 2 red. He's 600 attack power, 700 HP. Battle rolls, if he misses on a 1, he also gets to reveal the top card of your opponent's deck, so just the missing, he still has like a pro ability against to that. And then on a 2, 3, 4 is a hit. On a 5 you get to hit and then look at the top 2 cards of your deck and put them back in any order, so that's like scrying if you're used to Magic. And then on a 6 you get to hit, search any deck for a weapon card and remove it from the game. So he can basically pull weapons out of decks and then remove them from the game so that your opponent cannot use them. His main ability reads, if you discard a card from your hand, you get to put an enemy relic, weapon or wonder that's currently in play back on top of their deck. So that kind of combos in with roll 6 if you happen to roll that at the same time. So again, Timeless Knight is, well, it's pretty damn obvious with his design and his name and stuff like that. He deals with the essence of time, and he's made his way over to Wrath of Course. His lore, I sense the presence of a paradox, I've come to rectify the problem. So I'm not going to go too much into what he is going to do, or what happens to him, but he does turn up later on in the story, so keep an eye out for him. That's all. Is that all? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all the rare cards done. So we're going to very quickly move on to the uncommons and then move on to the royalty rares. So if you've not seen your design yet, you still have a chance of having your card turned into the royal rare. So the first uncommon we've got is from Afro-Chibi champs called Fro-Bomb. So Fro-Bomb was like, basically the design of him was like a tiny little monster, but it's got like a burn effect. as you can tell by the name, is some kind of bomb monster. He only costs 1 red element, so he's very, very easy. You can get him out on turn 1. He's got 400 attack power, which is very high for a 1 cost, but he's only got 100 HP, so he's very weak. Can be killed off by pretty much anything. He's got a 1 in 2 chance of missing, so if you want to attack with him, it's a 50-50. He hits on a 4 to a 5, and then if you roll a 6, he hits and then deals an extra 100 damage to any one target. His main ability reads, if you destroy him, you get to deal 200 damage to any one unit. So yeah, as you can tell by his name and his play cost, he's just basically a bomb, which will go off and hopefully get some damage, killing off some unnecessary units, what you don't really want in play. And that's come from Afro-Chibi chomps. Next up is Wildfire Spartan, which has come from Realm Guard. So these uncommons, you will start to notice that they are very easy to play, they are very cheap and effective cards. So the Wildfire Spartan costs 2 elements, both of which can be paid by either a red or a white element. He costs he's a 300 attack, 300 HP unit, and when he enters play, you may play another card named Wildfire Spartan for free from your hand. So if you get this out, and in fact if you've got both of these in your hands, you can pay just 2 elements and then get both cards out at the same time. So that's quite a nice little like a link card type as such. Misses on a 1, hits on a 2 through 5, then on a 6. If he hits, if he hits with a 6, he also gains 100 attack and HP, put him up to 400 HP and 400 attack power. So yeah, very good card if you can get both of them out in your opening hand. Next up is Dark Knight. So Dark Knight comes from a game called Bit Battle TCG. Now, a very unique game because, as you can obviously tell by the name, the card and the design are all created in like an 8-bit fashion. So this one has been a little bit different for me to try and work out how to design this, but I think it's come out pretty well. So this one costs 4 black elements, is 500 attack power, 500 HP, and is called the Dark Knight. So when this was brought up, he wanted me to try and create like a bit of a sacrificial ability what can boost his attack power, which is what you would normally find with a Dark Knight in many types of games. So whenever he attacks, you may choose to give this unit plus 100 attack power, and if you do, it loses 100 HP. So it can, if you wanted to, it could become 600, 400 during your attack phase. Misses on a 1, hits on a 2 through 3, 4 and a 5, you get to negate the next 200 damage dealt to this unit this turn, and then if you roll a 6, your opponent loses 300 HP. That obviously comes off the enemy core. So again, another good card. Definitely keep an eye out for that one. It's probably one of the most expensive uncommon cards we've got in the sort of collaborated set. Next one is called the Chained Sun Eater, and this is from a person. I don't believe he's got a TCG up on YouTube, but he did want his card to be in the game by a designer called Masked Maker. So he costs 3 red elements. He's got 400 attack power, 300 HP. He's got the ambush ability, so you can spring this on your opponent as a trap. And then it's got a static ability which says if this unit is placed on a desert terrain, it gains 100 HP, so it can very easily become 400 statistics. It only misses on a 1, hits on a 2 to a 5, and then if you get a 6, it hits, and then it gets to destroy any relic in play. That can be yours or your opponent's if you wanted to, if you found a way around that. So that is one way of getting rid of enemy relics, which can be quite tricky at times to get rid of. Next up is Dreadfire from a creator called Panda J. So he costs 5 red elements, or 3 red and then a mix of 2 black or red. Actually had quite a bit of fun drawing this design as well. So this is 700, 400. You can pay 500 HP off your core to deal 300 damage to any one target. That can be enemy cores or enemy units. Misses on a 1, hits on a 2, 3, 4, 5, deal 200 damage to any one target, and then 6, deal 400 damage to any one target. So as you can tell, This is one of them big late game burn cards, which will be out and about. I'd say about turn 5 or 6, something like that. Very powerful, so definitely keep an eye out for that one as well. Next up is Demon Pig. So this is from a creator called Combo Masters. It only costs 2 elements and they can either be black or red, so it's very easy to get out into play. 1 in 3 chance of missing, and then between a 3 and a 6 it's just a regular hit. It's got no special ability on a roll 6. And then you can choose to destroy this unit and make your opponent discard a card. So it's always nice to have a little bit of card discard towards your opponent. And then the Lawlll in the corner says, you can hear them squeal but never see them coming. So far that's quite cute. And then next up we've got Spikeleaf Wolf. 2 green elements to get this one into play. 300 attack power, 300 HP, misses on a 1, hits on a 2 through 5, and then on a 6 it also gains 100 HP as well, so it can quite, 1 in 6 chance of it becoming 300, 400. But it's got the link ability. We don't see this used that often, but a link ability means once you've got 2 cards of the same name in play at the same time, this unit gains 200 attack power and cannot miss in battle. So if you've got 2 of these in play, it becomes 500 and then it never misses on a 1. So again, another really good card. Another really good card to have out into play at the same time. And I think that's it for the uncommons. So we've done the uncommons, we've done the rares, and now we're finally going to move on to the royalty rare card. So this card is by Kai. Sorry, it's created for Kai from Astrom Cross, and the card name is Regius, the Dimension Breaker. A bit of lore behind this one is that he gets lost between dimensions, and he can control the likes of, his abilities are being able to bounce cards, and basically teleporting units and characters around the field. So for 4 blue elements, there's a lot of blue in this card by the way. you got the blue rare symbol, you've got the blue cost, you've got the blue character himself, and the blue box at the bottom. He is 600 attack power, 600 HP. When he enters play, you may move another unit you currently have in play to another terrain you own. It can still attack this turn. That goes for units that's already in play, should we say. If you've played a unit this turn and then you try and use this ability, it will not be able to attack the same turn. So obviously the unit has to have been in place since the last turn. But say for example something's happened, you don't want a unit on a terrain or a stack and you want to move him off, then you can play Regius and then he will be able to basically teleport a unit from one stack to another stack what you have in play. So it can be a bit of a deal breaker. It can save one of your units if it's about to get hit by something. And I don't actually think we've seen that kind of ability here in Rapid Claws either. Moving on to the rolls, he misses on a 1. Now a 2 and a 3, he hits and draws a card, so there's really nothing wrong with a 1 in 3 chance of being able to draw a card. And then on a 4, retract an enemy unit from battle. So if your opponent has chosen any attackers or defenders, then you can retract the unit from battle, and then that, whenever you retract a unit from battle, it contributes 0 damage to the damage pool. So that ability can really save your asses on some of the units what you have in play, because that one unit you retract could be the 500 damage contributed, which would have been enough to kill off one of your fellow units. So retraction is a very big thing in this game. Roll 5, you get to return a unit back to that player's hand. So very similar to the number 4 roll, apart from instead of just retracting, you can also retract the unit and send it back to the enemy hand as well, slowing your opponent down, because that means they then have to play that card once again back into play, and then obviously it can't attack on the turn it comes into play. So that ability can really slow your opponent down. And then finally, number 6 is return a card from your discard pile to your hand. So if you've already lost a card, or you've played a really powerful action card and you want it back, or you've lost a powerful unit, you can roll a 6, and literally as soon as you roll that 6, you can go through your discard pile, take one of the cards and slam it back in your hand. And that is basically, I think all of them abilities kind of revolve around the character Regius and work exactly how Kai wanted this character to work. So yeah, a lot of blue on this card as well, it's one of my favourite colours. So yeah, that's Regius, the Dimension Breaker. So he's going to be one big guy to look out for as well, in set 4, as well as many of the others. So yeah guys, that is all of the collaborated cards in set 4, coming in set 4. I still do have quite a bit to work on at the moment. I've got a lot of my own designs to get down and done at some point as well. But yeah, I will keep you guys updated on set 4 as the weeks and the months go along. But for now you can enjoy DVD, which is set 3. Set 3 is obviously already all completed out on the Untap and on the Game Crafter. So by all means, head over and have a tinker at set 3. It's all out on the website, wrathofcodes.com. You can go through the database, you can go through the Untap database, you can go through all my old videos and stuff like that on YouTube. You can find everything you need. It's just set 4 is going to be quite a while ways yet. So, and of course, if you want to play any games or if you want to learn how to play any of the games, just leave a comment down below, and I'm sure me or some of the other guys who know how to play can teach you how to play as well. So yeah guys, have a good new year, and I'll see you in my next video. Cheers!